2 stories. I used to ride my bike to the other side of my neighborhood to play with my buddy Blake. One day I was riding down the hill towards his house and he jumped out from behind a power pole and startled me enough that I lost control of my bike and crashed on the street, leaving my forearms skinned about 6 inches each. He kind of blamed me, and I didn't really think anything of it, thinking he was somehow right. Later on he had gotten some firecrackers, M80s, and we played with them, blew up a model jet and stuff. He mentioned something about using them to blow up frogs, and I didn't take him seriously. He ended up joining the USMC, but didn't re-enlist. I didn't think much more about him. Then one day my mom is reading the paper and asked me what my friend's name was because Suchinsich, Blakely Suchinsich, was arrested for the murder of his estranged girlfriend and her unborn child. He had driven her car off the highway onto a dirt road, slit her throat, and had containers of fuel in the car that he set on fire to hide the evidence. I don't remember the particulars of his arrest, but apparently he was walking along the road away from the site when a police officer stopped and questioned him. I don't know if he confessed then, or under interrogation, but he confessed. He was convicted of double murder. My good friend, as a kid, turned out to be a murderer, and I saw the signs but didn't know it at the time. 2. I was stationed in Iwakuni, Japan, and was the safety NCO for our unit. I was passing friends with a guy in embarkation, and one Thursday we went out drinking as a group. Saturday, the guy and 2 buddies decided to rent a canoe and went out into the ocean for some fun. At some point, the boat capsized and the 3 men were stuck holding onto the overturned craft and decided that the strongest swimmer should try to swim to shore to get help, and the other 2 were going to stay put until help arrived. The swimmer got to shore and a second guy had abandoned the canoe and was picked up by fishermen, alive. My passing friend didn't make it. He was found after a manhunt down the coast. He had died of hypothermia. This was maybe May, and I seem to remember the water was in the 60s degree F. Since I was the safety NCO, I had to fill out the paperwork for his death. I learned that even in 70 degrees water, you can die of hypothermia in just a few hours. This event, along with unrelated nightmares I had as a child of being in open water with giant shapeless creatures coming to get me, and I would wake up as jaws were closing around me, gave me thalassophobia, fear of open water. So, I had to fill out the incident report for the death of a guy the first had been out drinking with just 2 days prior. I was 16 at the time and I had barely just got my license. I had a friend in school, a girl who most considered boy crazy, but to my disappointment she wasn't interested in me. Typical popular good-looking girl who was into jocks, and I was the nerdiest kid in the class, but we were very close and she would tell me all her struggles and then delete the messages. Mostly because the guys she liked were very possessive. In the dead of night in the winter I got a call from her. This was very unusual, mostly the calling, but also it was a school night and it was very late. She was speaking in a hushed, shaking voice and asked me to come pick her up. I knew something was wrong, but she had to hang up after giving me the address. This was before GPS and I barely knew how to get to school, but I printed out a MapQuest route to her boyfriend's house in a different city. She asked me to bring her clothes, specifically shirt, underwear, and some sweats. I pushed my car out of the driveway and coasted until I was sure my parents couldn't hear it. I got to the house and she came out, obviously trying to make as little noise as possible. She was naked, makeup smeared from crying, hair matted. She got in the car, told me to take off, and she put the clothes on. I asked her what happened, and all she could say without breaking down is she went to her BF's birthday party and woke up like this with no memory. She woke up in the middle of the room with all his friends and him also naked. I took her home and snuck back into the house 2 hours before I had to get up for school. We never spoke of it again. I didn't think much of it then, but 17 years later I have my own kids and a daughter who's the light of my world, and I can't tell this story without crying. She's been married now with kids to a seemingly good guy for a decade. We don't talk anymore, but I still check her Facebook from time to time and I hope she's okay now.